David is abandoned and dejected in Psalm 13. In the two verses at the beginning, he shares the depths of his soul in those 4 cries of anguish that I've read to you twice this morning. But look back with them now. Turn over to the 13th Psalm, and I want you to see this. From 1 Samuel 21 and 22, go to Psalm 13. And I want to show you that each of these cries that David is expressing reflects something from his background. Hebrew literature has some interesting figures of speech. The first one is called erotasis. It's asking a question without waiting or even expecting an answer. Now, in the Psalms, when people that have spent their lives studying the poetic literature of the book of Psalms, in the book of, in the Hebrew language, they have classified these different ways that David wrote this poetry and the other psalmists. And what they say is that this is usually a sign of deep emotional struggle, when you just fire off the questions and don't even wait for an answer or don't even expect one. These 4 cries also represent something interesting. Notice that all 4 of them have the same words repeated at the beginning of these successive sentences. 4 times, how long, how long, how long, how long. Each sentence starts with that, and that's another figure of speech that's called anaphora. So erotasis, you don't even wait for an answer. Anaphora, you say the same thing, almost like you're stuttering. Well, as we listen, David cries in anguish 4 times, and he is expressing to us he's so overcome with sorrow and grief and feeling so alone and abandoned, he isn't even waiting for an answer. Now, what is he talking about? Start out with the first one. How long, O Lord, will you forget me? Now look at the next word. Forever. First point, if you're taking notes, David is saying, my life feels like an endless struggle. An endless struggle. David is abandoned. He's dejected. Everyone has left him. He is hunted by his own family. That's his father-in-law. His own people, like Doeg the Edomite and Saul's army. His own fellow people of God. See, he just left the pagan Philistines that worship false gods. Now, you would expect them to be harmful and injurious in pursuing him. He's home. He's with the covenant people. He's with the fellow people of God. And he's threatened. And now he's alone in a bleak desert region. David feels with every fiber of his humanity dejected and abandoned. One commentator of a generation ago said, well, might David have understood what this was. When hunted by Saul, he knew not where to betake himself. At one time seeking refuge among the Moabites, at another time in the wilderness of Ziph, and now ever an outlaw, hiding himself from the hands of Saul. Well, by repeating himself 4 times, he's saying, don't miss how deep my feeling runs. I just can't go on. So if you've ever been to the point where in your marriage, in your family, at work, in school, maybe in the privacy of your own will, you just say, I can't go on, then remember one thing. David is feeling those feelings at this moment with you. And he's writing what the Lord demonstrated his faithfulness to him in the darkest, deepest time when he said, life is a constant struggle. Number 1, I can't go on. Number 2, look at me.